Christa, I want to thank you for doing this today. The thing that made me want to what made me want to have you on the podcast is seeing you on my Facebook feed, because now you get videos with your Facebook feed, and I saw you on there, and you were giving motivational speeches, and you had day 1, day 2.
Yes.
How many days do you do? What is it?
I did 3 days. So what I felt was that people needed was just a bit of diversion and encouragement.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, I'm gonna give my friends 10 tips how to survive this never-ending pandemic.
Right.
Well, it seems never-ending,
Doesn't
right?
it? Yes.
So I started off with 10 tips what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you saw the second one or the third.
I probably saw the second
one.
one. The second one.
Yeah.
I went through that one. And there's something about the feeds too. They don't come to you all the time.
No,
it's
they
like
don't.
the algorithm just gives you a few of your friends on that time. It depends on how many friends you have, I guess, and then a few the other time. Because I am following you, but it doesn't come all the time.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So the more likes I get,
Mm-hmm.
the more people see it.
Right.
So that's how
But
the
they
algorithm
may not
works.
see it.
No, they may not. Yeah.
That's something. That's really
So-
interesting why that happens.
It's life.
Tell me about
You
it.
can dance as good as you can, and there will always be someone who's not clapping, right?
That's
So,
I like that. I like that. I like that.
so you know,
That's true.
That's-
Where are you from, Christy?
I was actually born in Austria.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was there until I was 21,
Okay.
and then I ran away.
You actually ran
And-
away.
Sort of, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I told my poor parents 3 weeks before I immigrated to Canada that I was leaving. So I didn't set myself up, right? If the theory is that everything comes back to you in life, I did not do that setup very well. And
Because-
guess what? It did. So
Wait, you mean your kids did the same thing? Is that
no,
what
they
you're
didn't
talking
do
about, or
the
what?
same thing. But
Okay.
you know, this coming back is not always the same. But I'll tell you that story later.
Okay.
And so my poor parents were totally shocked because
Mm-hmm.
they were very traditional.
Right.
You know, we were a very good family. And all of a sudden I decide that I'm going to Canada.
Now you're the oldest or the youngest of
I'm
two?
the oldest.
Oldest
I
of
have
two.
one sister,
Right.
yeah.
But you just
Yeah.
told me what's that? That one day you're actually the same
Yes.
age.
So she's
One day, yeah.
364 days
Days,
younger than
yes.
me. So one day in the year we have the same age. Now that's weird.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow, are you close with your sister?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And where's she now?
She's in Vienna.
In Vienna.
Yeah. So,
So you
that's
speak
where we
German, English, Japanese, and what else?
I speak a little bit of French, but
Little
I
bit of
haven't used that in ages.
Okay.
So
But your husband's from Austria, right?
no,
Simon.
Simon's got a complicated background altogether. Like he's English,
Okay.
but he was born in Vanuatu.
Where?
Yeah, exactly. Vanuatu is an archipelago where Fiji is. Like there's Samoa, Fiji, Vanuatu. Not Samoa,
Okay.
sorry, Solomon Islands,
Solomon Islands.
Fiji,
Okay, got
and
you.
Vanuatu. So it's in the South Pacific.
Right, right.
Our daughter actually
Did you?
graduated from high school in Australia,
Okay.
and our son
You
went
said-
to
that's
St.
what-
Mary's.
Went to St. Mary's,
Yeah.
as you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah,
I'm trying to get Simon in my head. But okay.
Yep.
So you have all those languages on your belt, and you told me also you're a thespian.
yes. I love theatre, and I have been in a few productions. Yeah, but
Okay.
I haven't been anywhere here because I can't sing to save my life, and all the productions that the Tokyo International Players do are actually
Singing
musicals.
parts. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. They asked me to play in there once, but the part they wanted me to play, I wasn't willing to, and I said no.
Okay.
But is that right? So you have to be
Yeah.
able to sing to be a part of that. So what do you
Yes.
do to entertain yourself then?
What do I do to entertain myself?
If
Well,
I mean, I know that you're doing the motivational talks.
yes.
And what
But
else?
you know what I do? Well, lots actually.
Okay.
You know,
That's right, because you're
I-
very active in the club, that's for sure.
yeah,
Very
I'm
active.
fairly active in the club. I did take a little break actually 2 years ago, and it sort of extended to a pandemic. But I think I'm coming back because I love the club, so I'm coming back to be more active again.
And when you're here, you're on the women. It was called women's group at that time.
Yes.
Women's groups committee. You're a part of house.
Yep.
And
well,
those
and
are
I
two
do.
things, yeah.
Those. I mean, if you are active in Connections, what it's called now.
I know. Yes.
It's a full-time job. It
is.
can be. It's great. It set me up for life in Tokyo, in Tokyo, because it's our second time here. So in the 80s, when the streets were paved with gold, we were too junior to be members of the American club.
Okay.
But now, of course, we can have that, and it's totally set me up for life in Tokyo.
That's true. I like to say that this club is actually a springboard into the Japanese community.
Absolutely.
If you use it properly, if you know how to use it, and you just don't come here and that's it. You need to understand what this has available for you. And one thing that's big is the reciprocal agreement we have with over those 200 different clubs around the world.
Yeah. So it's fantastic. It's a privilege to be a member of that community, this community. Yeah.
Okay. So what keeps you busy?
Okay. So what keeps me busy now? Well, I don't know if you know that, but I also give cooking classes for Austrian cooking. Yeah, I do that through a Japanese website, and that's been a lot of fun. I've done that for 8 years.
8 years now.
Yeah. The ninth year. So now I'm doing it on Zoom, which is
what
difficult.
Is your experience? Yeah, what's your experience? Because I tried to do a little something on Zoom, but it just...
It's difficult. I think it's just cooking and eating is such a personal thing,
It's such a social thing too.
Yes, it's a social thing. It connects you. It's different than having a meeting or taking a class, and it's also very interactive. So you've got 15 people on the screen. And some of them, I give them a choice. They can listen to me or they can cook with me. And cooking with me, I think, is a lot more fun for them than just listening to me. Because, things have to go into the oven, you have to cut things, and they're just looking. And I think that's totally boring. And it is,
right,
and then everybody has to sort of mute, which is another interesting thing. Because in a cooking class, nobody's muted.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
And it's mainly women. I do get some men in my cooking classes, but it's mainly women, so we are loud, and we check.
While you're doing stuff.
Oh, yeah,
It goes to what I said about being able to do so many different things, yes.
So there is never a dull moment.
Right.
Like on Zoom, I'm actually thinking I'm going to introduce filters. Because, you get these filters now where you can be a cat or whatever on Zoom.
Oh, yes.
There's this famous...
So it can be fun, right.
So I might do that. But it is really boring for the ones that don't participate.
Right.
But then again, Lance, isn't it boring for everyone if they don't participate?
I tried to do some of my classes online. It was the same thing about 15 kids. It's really difficult. What about this? Is it possible for you to maybe have 2 or 3 of them at your house and let the other people watch? Because then they're watching the group do it. Have you thought of that? I'm just curious.
It is an idea.
Yeah.
But
like how they did the aerobics? You'd always watch these aerobic lessons. They have 3 or 4 people in the background, and you're watching, and you feel it's not just one person, and it gives you the feeling that you're really there, you're a part of it.
Yeah.
And you're watching not just the person leading, but you get to see the person in the corner, this guy over here that's really not doing it, or whatever. So you can have all of them doing it, and have several cameras.
There is an idea. Thank you.
I'll come over and do it. I'll come over and be the one filming you guys. Have 3 cameras.
Okay.
We could edit it up and do it like that.
Okay. We have a date.
No, I don't know. But that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is an idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have many people. And it's just about getting it out there.
It is.
And maybe they could
Yeah.
also have groups. You tell them, don't do it by yourself. Have a couple of your friends come over. So they're just pods then. It becomes pods. But they're watching the main pod. Show them how to do it.
Yeah, like have watch parties, sort of.
Yes. I don't know anyone doing that yet, but they could be. But that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, totally.
Because since we're worried about infecting each other, but if you have 4 or 5 people that you feel comfortable with, and you know, you're not socially distancing, you're physically distancing yourself, and then you get together, and they do the same thing. The pods are smaller, and if someone does get infected, it's a smaller pod.
Yeah.
And you can have 20, 30 people.
That could be. That is true. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea. So I'll think about that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. Brainstorming too.
Yes.
All right. So go on. So you're doing the classes, and you have found them so palatable because it is online.
It is online.
But you're still doing them?
Yeah, I'm still doing them. For if you've had a business for 8 years and then you stop because of the pandemic,
that's right.
You get forgotten.
Isn't that the truth?
So, and especially if you don't look like Pamela Anderson or someone like that, if people don't want to see you, like, because they want to see you, right?
I got you.
But, so you get forgotten. So I'm trying to keep up my popularity.
And keep it going. Go for it. Work it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, yeah. And then, I've got my health business, health and well-being. Okay. So
and
that
tell me
keeps
about that.
me busy.
Tell me about that, the health and well-being. Is that part of what you're doing online?
That is part of what I'm doing online.
Because that's the mental part.
That is, is the part that I'm doing online. It's also, doing it online is promoting it, because I don't meet people anymore that I can tell them, like, not as many, Right. So I'm doing online.
But if you were to meet them, okay, let's say you're meeting me, what would I go through if I came to you?
What would you go through?
Yeah,
well,
how would you start me?
I would tell you that, you should have a healthy home, where you don't have so many toxins, and, you should do clean living.
Okay, so with toxins, so like my cat has to leave?
No.
My dog?
No.
Okay, so what are the toxins, such as?
Toxins like in your cleaning products, in your what you're using in the house, because there's so many there's so many environmental toxins that.
So would you come over to my home, or you just show me a list? Would you come over to my home and then show me what? We'd have to look at the ingredients, of course.
Yes, but you can do that on your own.
Okay,
I don't have to read the labels for you.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what is in your products that you're using.
Yes.
And what shouldn't be in there, like sodium lauryl sulfate and propylene glycol.
Okay.
That shouldn't be in our products, but it is in all products, from toothpaste to shampoo to shower gel to hand gel. So, So I would tell you I would suggest that you change brands.
Okay.
So
and you have of course.
I have a brand that doesn't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
But it sounds like now you're selling your brand.
I know.
But is that what you're doing? Is that what it is? Because your brand does the things you think these other brands shouldn't do. It's not well known, is it?
It's not that well known yet.
Okay, so because I don't want to say any names because
I don't want to say any names.
But it's not something that everybody would know about. They'd have to get to know you. Okay.
They would have to get to know.
Right. Yeah. So that's one thing. The toxins. What else?
And just your mental state.
What about physical? No exercise or anything? No physical.
Of course.
Okay. Yoga.
I'm not so good with yoga.
Okay.
I am more a dancer.
So you have people dancing and.
I don't have people dancing. I'm not a dance instructor. I recommend them.
Okay.
I recommend them to
to
do aerobics and things like that.
All
yeah.
Right.
But
so it's more of a consultation. I come to you for the consultation to be.
Yeah, I would just say it's a lecture.
Okay.
It's like an education.
Okay.
It's not even a consultation because I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose or prescribe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just make people aware that maybe what they're buying is not the best for them.
Okay.
So.
Right. And where'd the mental thing come from? The
It's
mental
part
aspect.
of it.
Okay.
It's part of it. I think, you know.
But that's something you added to it. It can't be a part of it. Is it a part of it?
No. That's just me.
Okay. So what made you get involved in that and interested in doing that?
Because, you know, when you age, I know you don't know that, but when you when you age, you find that people come to you for advice, do you? Or they just tell you things that they wouldn't have told you if you were 30 years younger.
Maybe if you're a woman and there's no competition. I don't know. I'm just saying that because I still feel sometimes I'm feeling more of a competitive vibe for guys. They ask me for business advice.
Okay.
And I say, okay, well, what's your budget like?
Yeah.
That's what I said. They want business advice. Okay, what's your budget like? So,
okay.
Maybe that word's gotten out, so I don't get too many people asking for that anymore.
Okay. So, yeah. So I've sort of, you know, I've gathered a lot of people that actually ask me, just or tell me stories, or you know, and I think I'm fairly good in keeping in touch. So I don't let people fall into the rabbit hole of loneliness and things like that. And lately, what I've heard wasn't positive anymore. It wasn't the, you know, it wasn't what it was like 6 years ago when everybody was like, okay, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. You know, like it's more like, what are you doing? I'm home. What are you doing? I'm home.
Because they have
like,
no choice.
everybody is home. You know,
true.
like it's sad. Like, you know, we've always talked about minimalism. I hate it. Why would you want to be a minimalist when everybody wants more? You know, like, huh?
I think we're all we're all we like to gather and stock things in places, and even if we're not going to use it, we just like to know we have it.
It makes us feel rich.
Doesn't it? Just having more things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I did in the first part of this 3-part series, little one.
Starting with the pandemic.
I started the videos. I started the videos with how to curb your lives in the pandemic. And my first tip was, don't do it. Like, don't get smaller, get bigger.
Okay.
You know.
All right, go on.
So
yeah, could you give me a synopsis of the one? Could you give me a synopsis of 1 to 10?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So my first tip was, don't get smaller. Yeah. The second tip was, stay in touch, because you need to stay in touch with people. Yeah. And the third tip was, tell somebody what you think, more or less. I did word it a little different. And then it was, do exercise, live healthy, you know, and do, what was the 5th one? I can't remember now, the 6th one. 6.
It's okay, you'll get it.
Yeah. And, you know, I just encourage people to not be beaten down by this pandemic. You know, I think if we stay realistic and positive, and we don't nag. One of them was don't complain. I think number 6 was don't complain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
And you know, there is a place to complain. There is, but don't do it on Facebook, and don't
be public about it.
Yeah, because it just, when you complain, it just manifests the problem in you, and it makes it bigger than it is.
I believe that too.
So not complaining is hard, but you know, if you're conscious of it, then it's not that hard, I think. And if you catch yourself, you can laugh about yourself. You know?
And then you went on, so what about, like, we can't travel now, so
yeah,
but people are walking. You know something, when in Japan they had the voluntary stay at home.
Yes.
Please stay inside. I never saw so many people in my neighborhood during that time They did everything, and they're giving the announcements. You remember they're doing it twice a day?
Yep.
The announcements are going over the speakers. They were walking around like they were in parks and stuff around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everybody was there. And as soon as that was over, they disappeared. They were walking because they were told they should please stay inside.
Yeah.
And they didn't. So do you have people going around, walk around and do things? And is that one of your suggestions to tell people to get out and walk?
I think they should, just deal with what you have. It's good to wish for something else because you need ambition and you need a goal and you need something to aim for all the time at any age. But like if you only can stay in Japan, well, there's tougher places to be, isn't there? Japan is so beautiful.
I'm starting to find that unless someone has something to compare it to, they don't know. And I feel like some people live in countries. It's like being an abused child and having parents that abuse you and then tell you that they love you.
Yeah.
When you're a child, so that's what you know as love. You've never been treated well, so you don't know any different. And that's why I've seen very few cases, but foreigners coming over here not liking it because they're too polite in the convenience store. People are always kind to you. They think it's phony and fake because they've always been in an abusive environment. And they want someone to be abusive to them so they can feel loved. Psychologically, I think that's the case.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
they
that's
psychologically
very
don't feel comfortable because they're used to abuse. But people that are used to order, kindness, people getting in line and staying there, and nobody being upset about it, no one honking a horn, love it here with a passion.
I actually come from a quite abusive environment. Like you should be in Vienna and try to wait. Everybody jumps the line. Like everybody wants to be first.
Is that right?
But I love it. I love it
you
here.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
that
everything.
In Vienna? Come on.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But you stayed there till you were 20, you said?
21.
21.
Yeah.
And
people
people
want to be first. Yes.
No, they want to be first, but they won't cut in line after you've gotten in line.
Which line?
You mean they'll make a line parallel to it.
Yeah. Yeah, the bus comes and everybody goes.
But have you been to China?
Sorry?
Have you been to China?
Yes, I've lived in China for 18 months.
Well, they're similar there. Hong Kong's like that.
Yeah.
That's something. I mean, it's just unreal.
It is. It is. It's very alive.
So are they similar in a way, the way that people react? This I, my, me attitude?
Yeah, but, if you know what it is,
then you can do it. You're ready. You're prepared.
It's great too. I have just become unused to it, because Australians, where I lived before, I came back to Japan. Australians are very strict. Like you stay in line.
Like they are in Germany. Like in Germany, the Germans are that way.
Are they?
I'm asking because when I went to Germany, I found that, for example, the friend's car we were in was smoking. People did not hesitate to let him know.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
That you need it, and then and they seem to know everything. I shouldn't say everyone, but they tend to be very sure of themselves. Yeah. That it's this way. If I say so, of course it's that way. And I found that they tend to relate that way too. Everything must be proper in a way. Yes. I didn't have to get any lines, but it didn't seem chaotic like in China and Hong Kong, because there it's like yesterday it was like that, but today it isn't. Or that was like that 2 minutes ago. But no, I'm here now, so it's different. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Austria is definitely not like that. Austria is a very orderly country.
That's what I thought.
They just don't like lines. But
or
waiting, or slow drivers, or
So they honk their horns a lot?
Oh yeah.
Okay, those BMWs are really kicking it, huh?
Yeah. They were built for that,
That's right. Obviously, that's why their horns are so loud. Okay, so that's the difference there. You've become, because you've been in Japan how long now? How long have you lived here?
Well, altogether, 16 years.
And this last term has been?
It's more than 10 years now.
Okay, so the first time was like 6 years?
6 years.
6 years, and then now it's been 10 years. How much longer do you think you'll be here? Do you know?
Hopefully 3-4 years, yeah.
3 years. So both you and Simon, your husband likes it as well?
Yes. Yeah.
He loves it?
Yeah.
That's good. He doesn't want to go. So when you leave, where will you go? Where are you going to call home, do you think?
Well, we still have a home in Australia.
Okay.
So, and we have a son in Australia. If he stays there, who knows? So Australia will be there, but we also have big ties to Europe, and we are hoping to do a triangle, right?
Oh,
so
in the 3 months, 3 months, 3 months.
Probably not 3
4
months.
4 months.
Probably we'll have 5 months. Well, we need to be more than 6 months in Australia if that's our tax.
If you're okay,
yeah,
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we probably stop by Japan and go to Europe and stay there for, like have a perpetual summer. But that's a dream. But it's something to aim for, right?
That's true. That's true. Does Simon speak German?
No.
So how many languages does he speak?
He speaks English very well.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry.
Simon's not going to watch this. I don't know. He speaks English very well.
He speaks the original English.
Okay. The Queen's English.
The Queen's English.
There you go.
Yep.
Wow. So you do plan on doing that within the next 4 or 5 years. You have
Yep.
to be going around like that. So you can see yourself. But do you think that you'll be... Well, see, everything's going online now anyway, so it doesn't matter. Wherever you're at, you can continue to do what you're doing.
I can, definitely.
Right. Do you see yourself continuing it? Is it something that you have a real strong passion for?
I probably won't... You mean my cooking classes and all that?
And the products that you...
Yeah, definitely the products.
The products, okay.
Definitely.
What about the cooking?
The cooking might be a little bit difficult, but I've got a few plans there too.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right. Do you have a recipe book yet?
I do.
How many?
Just one.
Just one. And
but I'm
did
working
you do it
on
here?
another
Did you
one.
make it here?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I've got it in English and Japanese. It's
what
about
is it?
Austrian
What kind
cooking.
of Austrian cooking?
And cookies.
Cookies. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Christmas
desserts.
cookies. It's
Okay.
called Austrian Christmas. So what I did was I took a group of 10, 12 to Austria 3 years ago.
From here?
From here, yeah. Japanese ladies. And we had a blast.
I bet you did.
It was just before Christmas, and we went to all the Christmas markets and, best restaurants, and had so much glühwein. It wasn't funny, but, it was funny actually, but, made it. But yeah, we had a great time. And then I came back and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna do this Christmas cookie book, because Christmas is something that Austria is like, unique. It's really interesting, like how Christmas in Austria is still like it should be.
Really traditional.
Like it's not. I mean, of course, it's commercialized.
Right? But you still see the stuff you saw as a child.
You still see, yes, absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah, and you still have that. You still have that stillness about it. That
reverence.
Silent night,
right.
Holy night.
Yes.
Like you still have that. It's not lost yet. So, and I thought I really want to capture that in my book. So
when you took the ladies with you, what were some of the things what are like the 3 top things they all had in common that they liked?
Sweets, and sweets. No, sorry, no.
We
didn't have enough time to eat all the cakes.
Is that right? Is that the kind of stuff they were saying?
Yeah. No, but we did it well. Like we went to Salzburg, and we were so lucky because we landed there and it started snowing.
Oh, that must have been beautiful.
Yeah. And then it was freezing cold, but it was beautiful, Yes. And then we went to Salzburg, and it was snowing there. And, it was great. And we went up to the castle, got almost blown away because it was so cold, like literally blown away.
I understand, like wind and everything else, yes.
And then we went to the Christmas market there, and we went to Mozart's birthplace, and you know, and we had Salzburger Nockeln and all that. So it was great.
Do you have family there?
Yeah. I don't have. Yeah, my family, all my family is in Vienna, and the surroundings.
So did you visit any while you were there?
We did. We had a cookie class.
You took them with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a cookie class.
You said 12 women, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okie dokie. So you took them with you to your relatives. Which relative? I mean, was it a cousin?
A cousin.
A cousin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
So how did?
Good.
How
she
did
lives outside of Vienna in a little village, so that was easier, right?
Oh.
And we did a cookie making class with her all together.
So how long were you there in her place?
Just 5 hours, 6 hours.
But wait, so then they left there and you guys went back to your hotel? You were that close, or was it?
Yeah, we went back to the hotel here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did she take it? What was
she loved it.
That was your first time doing that with her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that must have been really interesting. And you guys baked cookies there.
Yeah.
So you had to, which I'm not even thinking, but you had to set all this up ahead of time. You let her know that you were coming, and she set up everything. And you did that. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah. It was fun.
That's beautiful.
It was a great
Do you plan on doing that again? If we ever have the opportunity?
Yeah, so next year.
This was last year? Or when was this happen?
No, this was 2016.
2016 that happened, okay.
So 5 years ago.
Right.
Time flies. So was it 2017? 2017. No, it was 4 years ago. So and I was planning last year to do a wine tour, because Austria is also very famous for wine.
Yes.
We don't export them so much because we like to drink them all. No, it's just, no, that's not true. But we don't, Austrians don't use preservatives in their wines.
Right, so they don't, so they don't keep long, so you have to,
So, so it's all interesting. So I wanted to take them on a wine tour and then write a book pairing dishes with wine.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
So what about the other things? So they did have a lot of sweets, but what about the traditional dishes?
Yes, we had all of those.
So did they have to make them themselves?
No. We went to the restaurants.
You went to the
did them
restaurants,
well.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did any of the women that you went with speak German?
Yes,
Because
3 or 4.
I would find a lot. Because prior to the war, prior to World War II, the Japanese doctors, and for the most part, really got everything from Germany.
Yes.
They were really tied together. Siemens, all of that. And then after the war, then America said, German's nice, but you get this much. And they took everything else. America took everything else, and it just changed Japan. But there's still a very strong German affluent group of Japanese here.
Yes, yeah.
Very strong.
And also, a lot of the medical expressions in
Japanese
are German. So
exactly.
for me to go to the doctor is relatively easy.
That's right. And people don't realize that. They don't know that. The Japanese marked all their medicine after the Germans.
Yep.
They sure did. Everything, all their studying was German. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
so it's great.
I only know that because I was in the medical equipment business. Yeah. Wow. Because Siemens is a German company, right?
Yeah.
And GE actually, the market share, because I was dealing in CT scanners. I was buying used CT scanners. And the largest by market share was Toshiba. Then you had Hitachi. Then you had GE, Siemens, and Shimazu.
Mm-hmm. Right. Shimazu was that?
Shimazu's Japanese.
Yeah.
But they used to be one of the strongest. But then after the war, Toshiba and Hitachi they were very small. But Shimazu made CT scanners.
Okay.
But they're the lowest of the market.
I didn't know that.
I
thought they were much bigger because in Austria, a lot of the Röntgen, which is X-ray,
Röntgen, right?
Yeah.
Röntgen. I thought that was Japanese.
No, it's
Röntgen.
German. Röntgen. It's German.
They pronounce it a little differently, but that's German.
Röntgen.
Yeah, Röntgen.
Yeah, it's German. So a lot of the Röntgen machines were actually Shimazu.
So I speak German and Japanese. I didn't realize that.
See?
Oh, Röntgen. Okay. What is Gan? Gan is Japanese.
I think Gan is just short for cancer.
It is. That's cancer.
Yeah.
But is that how you see it in German? No, it's not.
No.
It's not German.
No,
Okay. Okay,
no,
that's Japanese.
no, that's
okay.
Japanese.
Okay.
That's after the war, right?
Right.
We didn't have.
There's no such thing. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
didn't
You're
have
right.
cancer
That's right.
before the war.
That's right. That's right. They'd call it consumption.
Consumption.
That's
yeah.
what they called it, consumption.
Yeah.
They didn't know what it was, but they
Yeah.
knew that you weren't going to be around much longer.
Yeah. So,
That's interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, why do you know so much about the medical? Well, I don't say so much, but were you?
well, in my first life in Japan, I worked for Höchst.
Okay, but isn't that a moving company? Wait, Herx?
Höchst is was a pharmaceutical company. It's now split into three.
And what is how? So what is it? No.
So it's Novartis.
Novartis, okay.
Novartis bought one part.
Isn't that vitamins and pharmaceuticals?
Yes.
No,
well,
it's okay,
it was
right.
a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
It was the second biggest pharmaceutical company
In the
in
world.
Germany.
In the Germany, okay.
No,
go
in
on.
the world, I wish, but no.
All right,
Yeah.
and then
So
and what else?
that's
These
what
are
I
three
did
parts.
for 6. It is Novartis and Sanofi. 2 parts actually. The smaller part is just
Okay.
chemicals, and
Okay.
that went to various companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said, what did you used to do with them? You said.
I was the president's personal assistant.
Okay.
So actually I was called secretary, but that profession doesn't exist anymore. Nobody has a secretary anymore.
So
They have
politically correct,
personal
you must say personal assistant.
assistant, yeah.
Because gender is not implied then. Because of your personal
Probably.
assistant, you can be man or female.
Could be,
That's what it seems like
yes.
they're doing that for, because they're taking so much out. That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
too.
I don't even want to touch that.
You know,
Um,
tell me about it. So when you did that, how many years were you his personal assistant?
6 years.
6. This wasn't in Japan, was it?
Yeah, in Japan.
It was in Japan.
Yeah.
So is he Japanese?
No, he was German.
He was German.
Yeah.
So how did that go? What was that experience like?
That was great. That was great. He was a lot older because,
Okay.
you know.
What do you call a lot older? What do you mean? Like, when you say a lot older,
Do you want to know something really funny?
Okay.
I just realized
what's that?
he was my age. Like
But
he
you
was
are now.
younger than I'm now.
Okay, so you want to say, okay, but you call it a lot older. See, isn't that interesting? See how you said that? There you go. You caught yourself.
Yes. But I was only 25.
Okay, so it seemed a lot older, but
Yes.
it's not that much now that you realize it. He wasn't
No,
that big.
no,
Okay,
he
good.
wasn't that
All right, that's what I'm thinking, okay. A lot older.
It was great.
Yeah.
And his opinion was that every German company needs an Austrian to keep them human. So I was the Austrian that kept them human.
Oh, I got you. While he's over here.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
no. Every
Period.
German
I
company
mean, he's
has
an Austrian. I got you. He needs an Austrian
Yeah,
there to keep
yeah.
him human.
And every German company, if you look through all the boards of the German companies, you will always see an Austrian on there to keep them human. Yeah.
Now, what happens? How do they become unhuman? What do they do?
Well, there is the difference between Austrians and
Yes.
Germans is that the Germans live to work and the Austrians work to live.
Got you.
So,
So you enjoy your vacation
Yeah.
time.
but thank God they do because, you know, somebody's got to work.
So you know what I mean? Somebody's got to do that, right? That's interesting. Yeah, I've heard that term before too. Some people work to live, some people live to work.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So what about now in Japan? Do you find, you say you love it here, I know you do. Do you find your life, it's not as busy, or if you're in Austria, would it be as, well, you didn't live, you never lived there, your adult life has been spent outside of Austria. So you really
Yeah.
don't know Austria that way, do you?
No.
You really don't know it that way.
No.
I had to come to that realization myself. When people ask me about America, I don't know it. I've lived here 46 years, and all my adult life has been here, so I don't know America. And the way
I was fortunate enough to go back a lot.
do. Okay. So.
Yeah.
But how long would you stay
all
when you
my
went back?
family, well, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, because I wanted the children to have
Oh,
grandparents.
I see. Okay, okay.
You know, so
Your parents still alive?
no, not anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's fine.
So you
My-
always went back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, we stayed with my parents, and then we stayed with Simon's parents for a little while, and you know, so the kids actually know their grandmother. My dad died fairly early, but they know their grandmother, and they know granny and grandpa in England. So yeah.
Wow.
So that was the main purpose to, you know, one of the main purposes. And of course you want to see your family.
Of course.
But if you ask me truly, do I know the Austria and do I know how my life would be there? I think it would be the same. I would always be a busybody, I think. I would always find something to do.
You know something you've done, Christy, that I think that I find people like yourself that speak the more than one language. As soon as you said Austria, now I can hear the accent. But without you saying, really, the last couple of sentences, I heard it then. But prior to that, Australian. I'm sorry, they got a hold of you. You sound Australian.
Well, I lived there in my serious.
But did you want people not to know that you were from Austria? Or they couldn't tell where you were from, could they?
No, in the first few years in Australia, everybody thought that I was German.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Like you're speaking now, yeah.
Yeah.
But after a while, they couldn't tell. They thought you were Australian. From Australia.
Now a lot of people ask me if I'm South African.
Same, very similar, very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I throw in a few words like man or or shame, and and I'm their best friend.
They go, wow, that's so neat. Going forward, how do you see your future here in these next 4 years? Next 4 or 5 years.
Well, I'm gonna get back and be more involved in connections, I think. And probably not in an active in an official capacity yet, but I'm gonna get people going back again, and after this pandemic, when everybody was used to staying home, I'm gonna tell them they shouldn't be lazy and come back, and then I want to build my business. I'm going to continue to do lives and things like that, and I'm definitely not going to slow down.
That's what I want to hear. That's beautiful. If people want to contact you, how would they go about doing so?
Well, I'm on Facebook with my name, Christa Wallington. I'm on Instagram with my name, and I have email, I have all sorts of things, but
You
Facebook
Zoom,
and Instagram,
Zoom,
I do
FaceTime,
Zoom,
everything.
FaceTime, Teams, you name it, I've got it.
Beautiful. Listen, I want to thank you for the time that you spent with me. I want to thank you for the time.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful.
It was great.
Good conversation.
Thank you.
All of you that are listening, I want you to make sure that you contact Christy on Instagram, on Facebook, Zoom, any of those areas. Make sure you contact her, because I'm sure she can give you some advice that would be really beneficial to you, so you can learn how to live clean and learn how to get your mind right so that you can do the things you really want to do in life. Make sure that you subscribe to this station, and make sure that you put a thumbs up, click on thumbs up, and I look forward to talking to you again and seeing you in the next podcast.